Rameswaram, a small temple town surrounded by the blue embrace of the ocean, woke up every morning to the rustling of newspaper pages and the rhythmic creak of a bicycle. Among the sleepy lanes, young Abdul Kalam pedaled tirelessly, carrying a bundle of newspapers that seemed far heavier than they looked. He was just a boy of 10, but life had already taught him lessons in responsibility. One day a fierce storm swept through the town. The sky turned an angry grey, and rain poured relentlessly, flooding the narrow streets. Abdul's cousin Samsuddin, the town's sole newspaper distributor, handed him the soaked bundle with a worried face. "Kalam, it's impossible today," Samsuddin said. "No one will blame us if the papers don't reach." But Abdul shook his head, his eyes brimming with determination. "Anna, these papers carry the news that people wait for. If we stop now, we break their trust." Samsuddin hesitated but nodded, sensing the spark in the boy. "Be careful, Da," he said, ruffling Abdul's hair. The young boy wrapped the newspapers in a plastic sheet and set off into the storm. His bicycle tires sank into the muddy roads, and cold wind lashed against his frail body. Each drop of rain felt like a challenge, a taunt from the skies above. As Abdul trudged forward, he saw a small figure under a makeshift shelter, a schoolmate, Subramaniam, shivering as he clutched his soaked books. Abdul stopped and pulled out the driest piece of newspaper he had saved, handing it over. "Use this to keep your books dry," he said with a smile. Subramaniam stared at him, wide-eyed. "But what about the people waiting for the news?" "I'll find a way," Abdul replied, his resolve unshaken. By the time he delivered the last paper, the storm had begun to subside. Exhausted and drenched, Abdul returned home to his mother, Ashyama. She had been waiting by the door, her worry melting into pride as she saw her son. She handed him a warm bowl of rice and curry, saying, "The world will always test you, but it's up to you to rise above it. Today, you passed the test, my son." That night, as Abdul lay on the floor, staring at the stars through the window, he made a silent promise. "One day, I'll rise beyond the storms, beyond the stars. I'll touch the sky." Years later, the boy who braved storms to deliver newspapers became the man who braved failures to launch rockets. Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam, the missile man of India, always carried that lesson with him. No storm is too great when your will to succeed is greater.